based off of like where you are now and your calling, and now that you're like a little bit more, I mean, I would say, is this more like now you're trying to seek after like faith-based people to help them with their health, or is it just everyone in the world? Like,
yeah, it's everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, our business has been like, it's just been a real blessing to see the anointing that's been upon it.
Yeah.
We're working with about 300 professional athletes. I just got back from spring training, was with the Detroit Tigers, Boston Red Sox, Philadelphia Phillies, Detroit Tigers, working with their entire teams top down. With the Tampa Bay Lightning, we've got about 14 teams in their entirety that we work with.
Okay.
We've got about 47 major Division I organizations that we work with through their entire athletic department. Then we've got a corporate entity servicing corporations from like a new age health and wellness component. Like, really, how are you servicing the individual? How are you looking after them? Not just giving them a gym membership, or not just giving them like a class pass, or like, how do you really look after them as a whole being, like their entire human experience? Because if we're only looking at 25% being the physical of health, we're missing 75% mental, spiritual, and emotional. And nothing's curated for them. Nothing's curated for the individual. Nothing's curated for the lifestyle of what they have. Because Peter, who is an executive and has a wife and 5 kids, is very different from Stephanie, who's a single mom of 3, and they both need something different. One's a male, one's a female. One has a very different lifestyle than the other, compared to Tony, who's a single man. Like, it's very, very different across the 3. But
I love that you said that too, because I think a lot of coaches like yourself, and obviously you're showing that you're different, is that there's a one size fits all for everybody. And like, take these supplements, eat this food, do this workout, and you will look like me. Like, and that's why I've never been a big fan of just giving out advice, right? Because it has to be specific to the individual. Totally. Tell me a little bit about your processes of like, okay, let's say that you come on board with the Detroit Tigers. Like, what's the process look like? Like, how do you start? Is it lab testing? Like, go in a little bit of your processes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the entire human being.
Okay.
Right. I need to make sure and understand what is this person made up of. HRV is our core metric that we're pulling from a biometric standpoint. Heart rate variability is what HRV stands for. And it is the universal understanding of how our body's adapting to stress and strain. Our body doesn't know the difference between mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional stress. The body's response to stress is to create inflammation within the body. Chronic inflammation causes chronic symptoms. Chronic symptoms that the world tells us are normal. Fatigue, insomnia, headaches, bloating, anxiety. They're what the world
Isn't it crazy too that has become like it's the norm. Like, that's just my life. Like, people think that they have to live that way.
Yeah.
Like, it's sad, but that's the truth.
And they're told this is what it takes to be a 8-figure entrepreneur. This is what it takes to be an executive. This is what it takes to be a mom. This is what it takes to be a dad. This is what it takes to be a spouse. But it's not true.
Right.
And so we come back to that HRV metric, because HRV is that metric that helps us understand that. So stress creates inflammation. Inflammation creates chronic symptoms. Chronic symptoms that we ignore create chronic illness, and chronic illness is killing 71% of Americans. It's wild.
Yep.
And so when we take a look back at this, I say we earn our diseases. We earn everything that we get because we've been living a certain way. We don't overnight wake up with diabetes. It's been 25 years of eating, sleeping, behaving, thinking, and being in a certain environment that's caused that. And so what we do is we get everybody on some type of wearable device, tracking HRV, helping them teach, learn, and understand what their body's going through. Then we get a DNA, epigenetic, cellular micronutrient test, and a gut biome panel, along with the hormone panel, to understand what's happening internally.
Is this blood work, saliva, urine? Like, what? How does that work?
So there's 4: spit, urine, blood, and stool.
So all of the above, people.
All of the above. So we're understanding.
Not leaving any stone unturned. I love that.
Exactly. Very comprehensive to understand, hey, what's happening? We know the gut-brain connection and what's occurring there. It's literally the gut is your second brain. Mm-hmm. At the cellular level, we want to know what you're deficient in. micronutrients from every mineral, every amino acid, every vitamin, so that we can now take it from your, like, just what you're ingesting and make sure that we're actually using it at the cellular level.
Okay.
Because cellular mutation is what causes chronic illness. Like, we might have a high amount of vitamin C or vitamin D in our blood serum, but we don't have the cofactor to bring it from our serum into our cell. So our body still thinks that we're deficient in something that we're actually supplementing, or we're eating oranges every day, but it's not able to get from our serum into the cell and be in a usable form. So once we get this testing back, now we can start to generate and create customized behaviors, customized lifestyle adjustments, as well as customized supplementation formulas. So we have a doctoral team that custom formulates every supplement for each and every person. So single pill form that, like, you're being able to use, that's built for you. And then we retest every quarter. So as your body starts to adjust, as these things start to really become new form, as your body again gets exposed to different environments, different habits, different lifestyle changes, it's going to require different things as well. So this is now the process that's built for you and adapts with you as you continue to go. The last thing that we do is we have a team of people around you. So we have 3 people: a functional medicine doc, an RD, and a mental performance therapist. So these people are now working with you on all of these habits and behaviors that are curated to you. And then secondly, we have your mental performance coach, your mental performance therapist, that's helping you overcome certain thoughts, beliefs, behaviors that are standing in your way, that have been generated for a long period of time. And so over the course of time, we're able to now transcend that human experience and where you are, because we've treated now holistic, or health, in a truly holistic and integrated way, rather than trying
very personal way too. Very personal.
Totally.
Very, very exactly what's going on with that individual.
Yep.
Is it mostly supplement based, or do you get involved in like hormones and peptides and things like that as well?
So we don't dive into the hormones and peptides.
Okay.
We leave that to other people who are experts in that space. We do everything through lifestyle, behavior, food, supplementation, and then just sheer behavior change.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And I like that because low risk,
Yep.
right? Like, you don't have to really educate people on side effects and things like that. This is all natural. This is basically behavioral changes. Like, this is like, hey, and making the right choices. Like, instead of choosing this, you're going to choose this. Instead of doing this, you're going to do that. Like, and then obviously take these supplements that will help that, and eat these foods, right? Yep. So that's cool. We need to collaborate, you with my osteopathic center. So this is the IV suite, and I just did a panel with 3 doctors from the osteopathic center.
Love it.
And they do a lot of this IVs for heavy metals and chelation, and then they do the peptides and the hormones. But it sounds like there could be a lot of synergy there. So we should definitely connect you with them. So they do a lot of that same testing that you do, and just more from a standpoint though of figuring out what kind of like metals and contaminants are in people's bodies, because they're seeing, like, literally, he told me that's the most thing they see is metals in people's body, or mercury and things like this that can really mess you up. So that's interesting. The
unique part about that is I usually call it like a triangle, right?
Okay.
So if you got the base of the triangle, is HRV and the 8 controllables. So 8 controllables being exercise, nutrition, hydration, sleep, immune function, environment, mindset, and self-care. So when you take these 8 lifestyle-based components, pair it to HRV, which is that measure of how your body's handling stress and strain, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, it empowers you as the individual to know, what am I doing in my day-to-day life that is working or not working? Once we have a solid understanding of the foundation of behaviors and the things that we're being exposed to every single day, we can now take the step to the next level, which is your testing. Let's get a little bit more understanding so we can personalize these changes, personalize your supplementation, personalize your nutrition, personalize your immune function, personalize your hydration and what you need from a electrolyte or amino acid standpoint. And then lastly, let's get to the top with tools like your red light, your cold plunge, your sauna, your peptides, your IVs, like all of these things. But what we do is, in society and what the world tells us, is let's flip that on its head.
We just talked about this. Like, bro, you're nailing it on the head right now.
And let's
just give you these pills and these hormones and these peptides. But if you don't change your behavior, then nothing will change. You can't it's like people think that you inject steroids and all of a sudden you look like a bodybuilder. No, it doesn't work like that. And so we literally just talked about this. You nailed that. That's so true. Like, let's start with the basics.
Yep.